We're gonna need one of these cards.
Got Tom here.
Do you have to stick it over the camera? Or is that really dodgy?
I don't know.
I don't think it can do that much damage, eh?
No.
That's gonna be such a cool shot.
What's up, friends? Luna's okay.
Those dirty plates.
Are you guys going to do a soft one so that Luna doesn't wake up? Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, guys? We are live. Congratulations for joining. If you've gotten this far in the video, like and subscribe. That seems to have worked.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of like 2 likes.
A whole bunch of 1.5 likes.
Y'all are legends. You two, you know who you are.
I feel like one of them was her.
I pointed at you and him.
I'm saying we know one of them was you because they were 50 and then you liked it as 50.
Oh, subscribers.
Subscribers were
Yeah.
likes, yeah. I'm one of the likes.
God, we still never found out who number 51 was.
They never messaged us.
51.
No, you were 51. Number 50. You were the 50th subscriber.
There's so much chaotic
Or
energy.
if anyone subscribed recently,
Shout out
just
to you.
shout out.
Shout out.
You're a legend. Please comment. Leave a comment down
know
below.
you've got hair. So
We want to-
I don't know. Maybe
Hair.
they're bald.
Maybe they're bald. You don't know. Hair on the face,
How would
maybe.
you know?
I don't know.
Eyebrow. I don't know.
Can I just assume these things?
I know,
Anyway.
it's true.
Anyway. Okay. Cool. Welcome, guys.
Congratulations.
How are you all doing today? Are you good?
Fantastic.
Cool. Any news you want to specifically share today?
In news, I fixed my car again for 19,000.
Okay.
Nice. We're going to be fixing our cars this week
Yes,
too.
that's true. That's right. Well,
Yes.
the difference is you're not going to be fixing it.
No.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
No,
So
we're
I
taking
fixed
it
mine
in.
because I gave up on the people that were fixing it.
Makes sense.
I have a friend, it's so funny, I have a friend who's like, I haven't seen in a long time, and they messaged me about something the other day, it was actually while I was the drumming stuff, and she starts, she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm good, fighting with mechanics, whatever. She's like, bro, I've known you for 5 years. I don't know when you haven't had a car and a mechanic and you weren't fighting with one of them. I said,
Good
it wasn't
point.
my car, it was my brother's car this time, but
Yeah.
true.
That's
Yeah.
still really funny though.
True.
That is
But
funny.
I feel like fighting with mechanics is just a general thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
Backyard mechanic show because they overpromise and underdeliver.
Oh yeah.
And what's that noise?
What's that?
Something in the garage, something at the garage door.
Oh no, it's wind.
No,
It-
the wind does at the garage door.
Yeah.
Holy Moses.
It sounds weird though, eh?
It
Like
sounds achy.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys were
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
there was someone just having like a little get together.
Who's the other personalities?
Yeah.
So no, other than that, no more extra.
no major things to share.
No.
From our side, there's also not much to share other than
Overworked
we're overworked,
and
we're overtired.
underpaid.
I'm underpaid and I'm overpaid and underworked.
Really? Oh no, your
Swap.
job,
No, I'm not.
right? Yeah. I noticed
Take
the
that back.
sarcasm in
If
it.
you- Yeah, if you're listening to that, I take that back.
Yeah. You're one of the parents in his school pay him more. Yeah.
that's
We all want to buy nice things, okay?
Just want to live.
Live a
man.
little, yeah,
I just
exactly.
want to buy supper, no, I'm joking.
Cool.
I can buy supper,
So today, as you can see on the thumbnail,
which is
you know, sometimes I
down there.
yeah.
How would the thumbnail be down there?
It's the title. He's talking about the title.
Oh.
The thumbnail is the thing
picture.
before they
Yeah,
click
the
on it, yeah.
I don't know. I just put stuff up. I
So-
just put
so-
Be a generational
oftentimes-
gap.
well,
That's not
it's
wrong.
quite a big age.
That is not wrong, yeah. So,
That's crap funny.
so oftentimes when I say, since you can see it on the thumbnail, I haven't even thought of the thumbnail yet.
Yeah, when you say that.
So, but I know
I don't
what we're
the
talking
topic
about.
is, Yeah.
But then I still have to go make the thumbnail and everything.
I always thought it was something. What's a clickbait then? That's the.
No,
It's the same.
clickbait is like an
It's
like an
it's a
adjective.
term.
It's a
So
term.
It's
yeah.
like when you say something is like
So a
something
thumbnail,
that it's not. It's like to clickbait you.
a
So that
thumbnail
you, like,
can
bait
be
it into clicking
clickbaity.
it.
Oh
Like
my
you-
word.
you- yeah,
I
you-
see. I get it now.
Yeah,
I get it
yeah.
now. Oh my gosh.
I'm in the middle.
I feel like you guys.
Oh, you're a
I feel like
boomer.
your
You're a boomer, eh?
generation, No,
No, you're a millennial.
millennial. Yeah.
I'm not a millennial.
I'm
I
a
think I
Gen-
just missed it. I'm like Gen X or something. You're Gen Z, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 3 different generations.
Damn.
All in one.
All in
Weird.
one.
Anyway, so
And I'm only
as you can
just
see,
'cause I was born
we're
in
talking
87.
about social media
You three?
and how it affects
Oh,
your
3
life
There's
and
10 years between us. And 5 years between you. That makes sense.
a Christian perspective.
Wait,
Guys, come on, give me something.
finish. And-
Okay, so a Christian perspective on social media and how it how it
Affects
affects
your
our life and how what you should do. Go, Brandon.
Kind of
I was
funny.
like, don't point it to me. I
You-
didn't have this idea.
you-
Kind
came
of
up
funny
with
that
that, yeah.
like we're having this conversation on a social media platform.
It is
It
funny.
was always like that.
But this is a good like stream off I suppose to go off of. Is that like, is it more hurtful or more helpful?
More hurtful, more helpful.
Yeah, like for our society when it comes to
Well,
like bringing people
Yo,
closer to
That
Jesus.
that very much depends, based on the usage of what people are currently doing.
And the
Like if
user.
you and on the user. So you can say like in an ideal world it can be only helpful, or in a toxic world it can only be bad. So like I don't know if that's a good it's a good question, but I think it's based on what is currently happening. So
Or it was just the streaming. It was just the starting point.
I think
it
it's very
wasn't
good.
the whole
No,
time.
no.
Just shoots
And
down
it went
my
straight
owl.
deep there.
Yeah.
He was like, no, that's
Yeah,
not a good
no.
way to start. The
No, it is
conversation.
good. I think it's good
It is
because
good.
it
Do you think
explains.
social media is good? Or do you think my question is good?
You in order to answer that question,
We have to define what
you have to
real is.
define like based on what, like
And
the
who.
current situation,
Like,
Like current life.
would you say that social media
in general.
in general today in society is
Yes.
more good or more bad?
for Christians? Yeah, for Christians.
I think for anybody, in my opinion, is a Christian or not.
I think
Bad.
I think
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it is.
I don't think it's like. I don't think it's unanimous. I don't think it's like, oh, it's obviously way worse or obviously way better.
Yeah.
I think the scales would be tipping, in my opinion, this, or at least let's say in my life and my perspective of seeing other people
Yeah.
get affected by it. I think the scales would be tipping in the negative side.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think, like, I feel like I have to take into consideration who is using social media.
Okay.
Because I work with children, I'm like, at this right where I am now, because of the last 2-3 weeks I've had, 3 or 4 weeks I've had with both the youth and our students with phones and social media and bullying and all these things.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I'm like, listen here, when I have kids one day, they're not getting a phone until they're 18. They'll get
Yeah.
a little phone that, not a little bit,
That
like
can
a phone
call and
that you can call and that's it, because they don't need it.
yeah.
Because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah. Social media.
I'm sorry if you
yeah.
are under 18 and you're watching this and you feel different, that's fine. But I've seen the evidence of
Yeah.
15-year-olds don't know how to deal with that thing, what this thing can do. And again, adults as well, I
And
suppose.
adults can't even, like,
Because
I
yes,
struggle
it can be
sometimes.
really good for us in terms of like ease of stuff and work and all
And
these
communication and
things. And
stuff,
whatever. But it can also be very distracting.
It's super
We were
distracting.
speaking about it
we talked
earlier.
about it
yeah.
earlier. Like I love watching the reels. I love watching YouTube videos, and there was one stage I went through a lot of YouTube videos, and I mean not just like random stuff. I don't watch people falling over and that kind of stuff. Or like people getting hurt. I'm watching like people's lives, and I'm watching people talk about topics and all those kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you get one of the other
Educational
kind of thing.
stuff almost.
Yeah, almost. And then, but then I've gone off that now. I'm on reels. I love the reels. They're brilliant, and I get. But then you end up like hours later.
Yeah.
Even
You
an
wake
hour
up 2 hours later. Yeah.
Like sitting having watched these reels, watch nothing of real
Substance.
substance.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
learn anything really. And as I said to Hendrik in the back as well, like you almost feel like you've watched that, and then I also stood on the like Instagram search because it's obviously it gives you stuff that you've looked at. Some there's cowboys and there's hunting stuff and then there's
Yeah.
cars and there's
Tattoos. And,
tattoos and whatever. And then I feel like, oh, I'm lacking. I really want a new tattoo, and I do, but you know, and I'm I should do this, or I really need to get rid of my car and buy. And I'm like, good, I could buy this sports car. I mean, these cheap sports cars. But the reality of a 60,000 rand Z4 is it's probably going to break all the time. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah.
And it's much older. And so you don't think like that because you
Yeah.
don't think on that side of things. You think on one side of things, the
Yeah.
desire kind of side of things.
yeah.
So it can be really bad, but then it really makes my life a lot easier with the youth communicating what the topic is, who's there.
Yeah.
Message all the parents one time. Poof, there you go. Say to them, go look on Facebook. You'll see what the topic is for this week.
That's also true, yeah.
You know, it can be really, really good.
I suppose it
That's how
depends
it is.
on what context it's being used in.
Yeah.
If it's being
Yeah.
used as a communication platform, or if it's being used as a distraction.
Can I throw in a one-liner?
One arm is better, small's better.
Social media without boundaries will be more toxic than good.
I agree with that.
Okay, but
statement.
what are the boundaries?
Well, that's the thing.
See,
You
because
need to,
I'm
you need to put up the
365
boundaries.
million years old, so I don't need, and in terms of I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I'm an adult, so what are my boundaries? Like, I can sit on my phone until 3 o'clock in the morning if I want to.
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
going to stop you.
But-
There's no one to stop me. But
you need to have the self-discipline to so for me personally,
Yeah.
I've got a timer set on my phone between YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. I get 2 hours usage per day
Per day. Okay.
between the three of them. So if
Yeah.
I use 1.5 hours on Facebook, I only have half an
Yeah.
hour left for the others. I do sometimes snooze it for like 15 minutes or something if I'm busy watching a video, or if there's like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
boosting
very
an ad
important,
for work or something like that.
I wonder if I
But
can set that.
for the most part, I try and leave it. Then, like, because oftentimes maybe in the morning I don't do anything, so I'm on Facebook or whatever, and then it runs out like midway during the day. What I do then is I resort to only listening to podcasts, which is normally an hour and a half to 3 hours long, and it's a lot more educational. So it's not just like this mindless scrolling
Yeah.
type of thing. If I am going to be on my phone, let me not physically be on my phone. I'll put it down while I'm busy working, and I'll listen to something educational or something
It's
like
actually amazing how entertained we have to be.
that. Yeah, 100%.
We've just gotten to the
Because-
place where we can't
Yeah.
do anything without
Yeah.
being entertained.
It's terrible. I wake up. I was saying to Brandon in the morning. I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm
It's
gonna
on his
go.
phone.
No,
I'm gonna-
I want to see.
Your screen time.
Yeah, the screen time. I can't remember. Where it is.
I'm pretty sure you can set it.
Yeah, I'm sure you can see it. I want to see if there's a to show because I know on my Huawei phone I
Yeah.
could go and see. I'm sure it's on there as well.
Yeah.
I have to look for it. And it would tell me how long I spent on Facebook, how long I spent on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
can tell you now that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
tell you now it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've gotten 3 times worse than I was in the last 6 months. Let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find myself always just sitting on it, even when I actually saw a real meme the other day saying, "What can someone suggest a Netflix series that I can watch while being on my phone?" Because
Yeah.
that's the reality. I
Yeah,
go
yeah,
home,
yeah.
I put something on, even something I want to watch, put it on, and I'm like, cool, start watching, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
listening kind of to it. You're not watching it. You're
Yeah.
not focusing, and you're on, and you're not actually focusing.
Yeah.
on
You
it.
need to be so stimulated.
Mm.
I mean, like I said, or said to Brandon in the car. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, cool. I want to go make coffee. So I come to the kitchen, put the kettle on, and then I look for a video, or I look through social media and what's going on, whatever. Sometimes I find something that's like short, or it's like I listen to these short clips, whatever, and then it entertains me briefly, but it demands so much attention that I forget that I'm making coffee or anything like that. And then like you go through it, okay, fine, now I need to get or I put my phone down, and then for a split second I forget what I'm doing, and I see a candle mold or I see a container or something. Oh yes, I was supposed to do that. And then I run into the garage and I quickly pop out some molds and I quickly mix some more stuff, and then I start sanding, and then like half an hour later Amy's like, bro, where's the coffee? Like,
Yeah.
what the flip? And it's because I got completely sidetracked
Yeah.
because of my phone, because of I need to be entertained. Even when
Yeah.
I go stand and wash the
100%.
dishes, I struggle to stand there just washing the dishes.
Yeah.
I have to listen to something, a podcast or music or something. I have to be stimulated, and that's very negative. If you constantly have to be stimulated like
Yeah.
that.
And then we think about like how our children, how we're gonna keep them away from like this life
Well,
if we
Look,
can't
I
even
think,
get
I
away.
think it changes for them as well, because I know like our students in the youth or whatever, they don't do Facebook.
Is it?
Yeah, they Instagram or like.
Yeah, but they're still on social media.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure. But I'm saying like I'm going on Facebook first. For
Yes.
example. When I get home, I sit down for
Yeah.
Facebook first. I scroll through, and most stuff's rubbish. It's or just adverts or groups arguing or somebody complaining about the water or the electricity
Yeah.
or the street. You know, it's a lot of that stuff. Then I'm like, okay, that's enough of this. Cool, Instagram. They're not doing that. They're
Yeah.
not sitting on Facebook first. They're
Yeah.
only going on Instagram or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not. And sadly, I think that part of the bad side of it, they're not necessarily even scrolling and looking at what people are putting. They're posting. That's what they're there for. They're not there.
To see other people's.
Yeah, I've been very intrigued, and I've actually done it as a test, and so far I've I've been right, put it that way. I've followed people, so they come up and I'm like, okay, cool, they're not my friends, follow them, and they are whatever they are, fitness person or whatever. Follow them and see if they follow me back. You know, or like a
Yes.
tattoo model or whatever, or like a guy with like a tattoo artist or whatever. You follow them and see if they, now I leave it for 2 or 3 days. If they don't follow back, I send a message saying, hi, listen, like not could you follow me back, but do you follow people back? So no one's ever replied, but I've noticed that none of them follow me back.
Interesting.
They don't, because they're not there. They're not posting on there. They're not on.
they're not on
media
there to communicate.
make connection to have. They're there to advertise themselves.
Yeah, they're not there to be social. They're
Yeah.
there
So
to.
like, or if I see a reel or something, it's a cool reel of this person, the surfer or whatever, and you go onto their profile, and I'm like, It's just photos of him with his surfboard. There's not even him surfing. There's no
Yeah.
lifestyle. in
Yeah.
it. It's just what it is, and I'm like, okay, no, this person's clearly not going to follow you back because they're not sharing lifestyle stuff. They're not sharing food or friends or the dog or whatever. They're just a photo of advertising basically, and they're using that as a brand. And I think that's what the younger generation, from you guys, is even doing. For them, they're using it as a marketing platform to get themselves out as a brand kind of thing, to try and make money kind of thing.
It's the easiest free marketing.
Exactly.
It's like you don't pay for it.
Exactly.
The more followers you have, because we obviously do marketing with Earth Candles.
Yeah,
Yes.
The more followers you have, the more business you have.
Exactly.
The more people trust you, which is also a very strange concept. That
Yeah.
the more
Yeah.
followers you have, the more trustworthy you are as a business or as a person.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's. I mean, we're not even. That's not even the side of where they're talking to each other and they're DMing each other. And I mean, I don't understand that at all. Like, I mean, I understand chatting on WhatsApp or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, like WhatsApp is a chat line, but
yeah,
like
they chat. On
everything
Instagram.
else, Instagram. Like, let's go chat on Instagram. Like, what?
No.
Like, no.
And ask me questions. I love to click through those. Ask me questions. I'm bored. Ask me questions. Person will put up. And it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
But there are hundreds of questions.
I think also people then also just they feel like they're so interesting.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
you must know a lot of people ask questions to themselves,
Yeah, I suppose so.
like from another account,
Yeah, I
because
suppose
no
so.
one would know
Yeah, I suppose so.
except that person.
Yeah.
But people love the idea that they're important and
Yeah.
that people want to know
And it
things
boosts,
about them.
that thing about them that they.
Yeah.
they
Oh
feel
yeah, like
something
their ego and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I've like once or twice like wanted to like if someone really wanted information, like let's say about like being a mom or like being a pastor's wife or whatever.
Yeah.
I've wanted to be like, if you have questions, like ask me. And then I was like, oh, like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that
Yeah,
person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah,
No,
it's
it's
very
difficult.
interesting.
No, from a more scientific point of view, there's a thing that like happens in your brain when you get a like or when someone follows you or when you have success on social media. It feels nice. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah, well,
cool.
sure.
So it's like that, whatever that is, the dopamine release or the pleasure receptors or whatever. Like you want that more.
Yeah.
So you would eventually like get to a point where you're just producing content to kind of sustain your happiness.
Yeah, it is.
And I
Get
think
people to
that
click, get people to watch,
Yeah.
get people to.
and that's
share.
difficult, because I mean you get like I think we're fairly sane, but if you look at the weird stuff that's on TikTok,
I don't know about that.
I mean
yeah.
there's that like the bleach challenge or something. So they walk
Yeah,
into a
yeah.
shopping center and start drinking bleach.
Yeah, I know. That stuff is nice.
Like there was a guy, he was talking about it. It's so funny.
The way
man.
you get
So
bleach change, yeah.
So he walks in, and he walks around the corner into an aisle, and it's like empty, and there's a woman there drinking bleach, and she like catches him, and she goes like, he's like, what the flip, and she's like, I'm gonna pay for it, and he's like, I don't care if you're gonna pay for it, you're drinking bleach. Are you okay? You know?
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, or the milk
It's
jug
almost-
challenge. Remember the milk jug challenge where they would go and they would take a 5-gallon milk jug and just throw it and break it all over the floor. Like he would walk into a shopping center and just break it all
I
over
feel
the
like you
floor.
got into a very weird algorithm of whatever
Yeah.
you
There's weird
want.
stuff. I mean,
Leon Lash.
There's weird stuff. I mean, there's people that put their head in the microwave.
What?
Put their head in the microwave.
Shove it, bro.
And turn it on.
Well, you can't really turn it on. It's
No.
all closed. But I mean, they put the head gets stuck in the microwave. There's a microwave stuck on the guy's head. Or they put it in the freezer. They try and get it to freeze to the head. And why?
I really worry about our generation.
No, but you see that's and back to the point. This is stuff that people would do to get likes,
Yeah.
and because like a whole bunch of people love seeing people in pain or love
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
people do something really dumb or stuff
It's
like that.
like the other side of things where people will not the other side, but they'll say something bad. They'll pick a topic or whatever, and they'll pick on someone. And I don't mean bullying. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like they'll stand up for a cause.
Yeah,
Don't
be
actually
controversial.
They're not actually going to go and stand and hug the tree,
Of
stop
course
the
not,
grade
yeah.
of
Yeah,
running
no.
over them. But they can run their mouth on the social media.
Also something that
It's
Hendrik and
really
I
simple.
actually spoke about yesterday as well. It's like the anonymity.
The anonymity.
Yeah.
Yes, you know
It's
what I'm
anonymous,
saying.
they're
Yes,
anonymous,
to
yeah.
remain anonymous, you actually are able to, what did I say?
Well, the thing is,
I said something about it yesterday. We were speaking about how you would never say what you would say online.
Yes, yeah,
you would say in
100%.
person.
That's
Well,
the issue with the bullying and stuff.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Even if they know who they're talking to, they'll say things on the phone. And
That they
there's
would
bullying,
never say
and
in
then
person.
there's the sexual side of it, of the relationships and whatever as well. It's not good, man. You shouldn't be like I'll definitely say, as Christian people who are dating, whatever, you shouldn't be sitting on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning, because things that get said there, even if they're not sexually charged, they are romantically charged or relationship charged. Those things that get said, they're either said way too early in the relationship, or they're not. It's not good. You're not actually going to say that. You don't actually mean that. You don't actually believe that about the person.
What I said to Hendrik is the premise behind it is that there's no consequence.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because they can just, I'm just going to ghost you, or I'm just going to
100%.
remove you or block you or whatever.
100%. Delete the conversation, it's over. You still said that. Like when it comes to the bullying, that's always the case. I've deleted the conversation, but you still said it because the other party has the conversation.
Yeah. And they still have the repercussions of it. But we're so quick to not want consequence for our actions.
Yeah.
And that's because you were talking about virtual reality last night.
Yes.
That's what makes social media also so appealing, I think, to a lot of people, is the fact that you can do whatever you want.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I always laugh at, I see these reels that I watch of these people that will pose in front of sports cars.
Yeah.
And then the owner of the sports car will come along and push the button, and then, okay, now you can sit on my Ferrari. Don't worry, you sit on my Ferrari and take photos. Now, I mean, there are people, okay, I don't know how much in South Africa, but in the world, they account, I mean, it looks like they have got money and whatever. They don't. That's not how they live.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
completely
I do
facade.
like BJP's chow or whatever, so I post the photos of my food or whatever. Now, there's sometimes I don't bother posting and whatever, it's not nice. Sometimes I post it and I'll be like, it looks better than it was, or because the reality is, I made whatever the meal was. I mean, I didn't post it last night because the photo wasn't great, but I had steak, eggs and chip last night.
Yeah.
Best thing I'm posting tonight.
Oh, but it's because you making something tonight, but okay.
Yes.
It's burger night.
It's burger night. So they had steak, for 2 fried eggs, and I had actually garlic potatoes. But it wasn't the best steak in the world. It was a sea grade steak, which I was okay with. I've had that before. When I was in another suburb, there was a lot of the steaks, and it was really nice. This one just was a really bad choice of mine, if that makes sense. The edges were hard and whatever. And I was glad that the photo was bad, because I was like, I would have posted it, it would have looked amazing.
Or it tastes like poo.
And it didn't taste bad. It wasn't the flavour was nice. It was just hard, and it
wasn't the best steak.
Annoying. It was just annoying the way I eventually gave up because I'm like, the bits are hard, there's sinew, it's not. So if I post that and make it look like, yes, I've had this amazing meal, you know. It's like when people ask me, I'm like, I'll happily tell you how to make the meal. I'll happily tell you that I bought it, or that, you know, shout out to the spa that for making this meal. That sounds funny, but because people think I'm making I don't make all those meals. I put them together, or I'll buy them, or I have the idea, but I don't actually necessarily go and, you know, grate the carrots and, you know, whatever the situation is. I could if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't, because who does that?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey?
We do.
You guys do. You grate all the carrots and
we make it look pretty. But no.
Not to grate the carrots look pretty. I mean, like, labor intensive meal where you have to buy it at Spa. That made it better for me.
Especially if you're just cooking for yourself.
Well, that's exactly it. That's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back to social media and being. I think you can definitely very easily. In fact, it's incentivized to create something that is not necessarily true.
Exactly.
You're supposed to create something that makes people think, wow, these people are great. Because I've never we only post photos of Luna when she's laughing.
Yeah.
We don't really post photos of her screaming.
But it's weird because now there's another thing which I completely agree with you. You want to post the good part of it, because what's the point of posting the bad stuff? But there are a lot of people who kind of have more reality accounts, lifestyle accounts, and there's this girl I was following and she posted this thing the other day of my kid is the bully, and she was saying how can you believe that my little boy or whatever has the capability of hitting another child, whatever, but this is where we're at right now in life. And I was like, I also post stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Obviously you would never share your whole life with everyone.
Yeah.
I think it also depends why you're sharing. If it's genuine sharing from a place of I want people to be part of my life or want you to understand, then sure, 100%. But then there's the other side, which is the side of wanting to make yourself look good. But then there's also I always get asked, why do I post so much stuff? You post so much stuff. I've got 3,000 posts or whatever, and I've only got 150 people following me or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's not even that much, I don't think. And someone told me once, a friend of mine's, that same friend who I spoke to told me about the cars, her sister, she used to post a lot. I eventually said to the one day, I was like, yes, why do you post so much stuff on your...
Mm.
And so she said, well, think about that. She was like, and so that friend is that friend is way more than that. She's your age.
Okay.
She's your age.
25.
And it's hers, and she's around my age, I think. Maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. Her sister is like only 19, 20, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And just the sister. And she said straight, she's like, think about this. Nobody looks at a photo album. You don't sit and look through your photo album all the time.
True.
Nobody looks at the pictures on the wall generally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't put pictures of myself up on my wall. That's just weird. But for me personally, because I'm in
Family,
my
yeah,
house.
maybe,
Family,
yeah,
but
but
I'm
not
saying
of
for
just
them.
you. Yeah.
So, but on your social media, you put it because first of all, it's never going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I know of many people whose houses are burnt down and they've lost all their photos. That's it, gone. Wedding photos, everything's gone. Whereas social media, one of those forms will always be there. If Instagram and Facebook or whatever they are gets closed, those photos will be somewhere. You will be able to access them.
Yeah.
That will be there. So she
Yeah.
was like, instead of putting it in a hard drive, you fill up a hard drive which you put in the drawer and you never look at it.
Yeah. Put on
you
social
have.
media. Yeah.
It's in the cloud per se. It's on a free cloud, if it makes
Yeah.
sense, because you have to pay obviously for the normal cloud. And it made me wonder. I thought, yeah, that's actually a clever idea. You know, I posted and now I can always go look back at that, and that's why I think also why like it's often people post the good stuff only because you don't take photos of the bad stuff and put it in your photo album.
Yeah.
Or put it on the wall. You're not putting the child crying and throwing up on the wall. You put the
I mean,
child smiling.
sometimes. 'Cause it's funny.
No,
Yeah.
we've never, but I mean,
But you would post a nice photo of the child smiling or whatever, or put that on the wall. So it's the same sort of principle, I guess.
I think it's also that principle that you had of like being an influencer. That preacher lady who spoke and said like who here thinks that they're an influencer. It's the same thing. Like if you post influential things, like you normally post like the verse of the day.
Yeah, verse of the day.
Like someone's gonna see that.
Yeah. Well, I changed myself 2 years ago to do that, and I missed 1 or 2 or 3. I went, hunting with certain people, and then and then there was 1 or 2 that I missed, and then so the next year I was like, no, I'm gonna do everything there, and I think I did get it right. It was last year, and I continued to check because I was like, I was surprised how many people liked that verse. You know what? If that verse is the only verse they're getting that day, then great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't
like
come from me.
now.
I
That's
create
the thing,
that.
yeah.
I take it off the app. I share
Well,
it.
now I'm like, well, I know that you post it every day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's other people who also
And
know that you
I
post it
moved
every
into
day.
that. I moved into doing it now with youth groups, sending it on WhatsApp to them every morning. And I've had like quite a response where they're replying with praying hands or that's awesome, thanks so much, or I remember this verse when I was younger, and these are young kids, grade 6, 7, 8. So
it's like I think that's one of the very positive sides.
Yeah.
Like as a Christian, it's like seed. You're sowing seed, and God can absolutely use that. I think that's definitely one of the most powerful things that you would use.
It's definitely a tool.
On
I think
social
also
media.
you can find a huge sense of community if you aren't plugged into a church or something like that.
Yeah.
Through I mean, like there's so many Christian reels, there's so many Christian accounts, there's so many Christian families, even South African Christian families. I mean, I think it's easy to feel like we're isolated and we're not like really, there's no community. But if you look online,
Also, one of the positive things, about like if you can resist the urge to post a false persona of yourself.
For sure.
Like if you can actually be yourself, like I'm a Christian, I will post Christian things. I will post things that people that on my wall might frown upon or might not like, whatever, stuff like that.
You don't know
People
my stuff done for
at
you.
least, but at least people know who you are.
Exactly.
Like I've had situations where, especially with certain friend circles that I used to have, where people would look at you and like, yes, dude, you put off your rocker. Why are you so like heavy Christian? And maybe you should like give it a rest or whatever. But when they were in trouble, they come to you for help and advice because they know, hey, listen, this guy seems to be doing something right.
Yeah, he's on the right track.
Yes. Yeah. And there's something, I mean, here's the thing. All humans are designed to have a connection to God or have a hunger after God or have that spiritual connection with Him. And that's, like I said something, I think it was the last podcast or the one before that Christian success on earth, any success, like success for humans is not about what you did or what you accomplished. It's about like how close you walked with Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's for humans. We were created to walk with God.
Simple.
That's just the thing, And when we walk with God, He will use us in the business sector, and He will use us in the art world, and He will use us in ministry, and He will use us in whatever field it is, But the point is to walk with Him.
I think I don't know what I'll say. Like caution for that as well is that I've seen it both with like on Facebook with pages that do it, but I've seen it with people as well on like on Instagram now. If I go to the page first, they'll I showed you guys last week they'll post a picture of a verse or a saying about God or like how God will come through for you always or whatever. And the picture with it is very suggestive or very.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be this one that I showed you guys last week obviously was a photo of a woman. I'm assuming she was in a boob tube. We don't know because it looked kind of like it, but it was you weren't sure. Like,
ambiguous.
Yeah, very ambiguous. Thank you. That's the word. And then they put the picture in the like, sort of darkness of the whole thing is dark with the writing in the picture. They sort of darken around so you can't see what she's wearing. And now obviously people are scrolling. They're gonna look. Whoa, okay, that's a pretty woman in this.
Yeah.
And then this
Quote,
is
yeah.
That's not biblical. That's not.
It's a very strange approach.
Yeah, it's like you're using lust to
get the
to
word
grab
out.
the
No,
attention,
that
and then
won't
okay, since I have your attention now,
work.
here's a scripture.
That's not biblical. Yeah. And now it translates to on the Instagram accounts and stuff where you go on people's accounts and you're like, I'll see them in the reels and I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing that they did or whatever. Go on the account and be like, Susie Boudlace or Johnny whatever, and X number of 26 years young or whatever because I don't know how to speak English either. 26 years young, and then it'll be like God, lover, God first or whatever, and it'll just be photos of the dude topless.
Yeah,
Or
the girl like
the Ferraris
wearing
and
basically
the
nothing.
girl wearing bikinis and nothing. And you're like, and I'm like, I'll see there 5 of my friends follow it, so I'm like, cool, so go have a look at it. And I'm like, no, you can't be saying that you're a super God lover and if not that you can't be a God lover and a bikini. The point is, what are you advertising? What are those posts about?
I think that's generally like out of a place of insecurity.
For sure.
A lot of the time as well. It's
And
either
also,
attention seeking or it's from an insecurity.
Yeah, also having to say something.
Yeah.
So, but like, when I always say like, being a Christian opposed to Muslim, because on the form it says you got to pick one. Christian, Muslim, whatever. You're like, Christian.
It's the most,
Should be the church once, twice,
Yeah.
And that's fine, but then it'll just say Christian on it. But these ones that there's a whole bunch of stuff with it, and God love, and there's a Bible verse or whatever, and then you scroll down and as I say, the dude, there's an American couple as well. The two of them on their Instagram, it's like ridiculous. She's half naked. He must spend days in the gym, never mind hours, to look like that kind of thing. Or it's super edited, which it generally is as well.
Juice puppy, juice.
Exactly. I'm like, that, and I mean, we're going to all that, like, they're not married, all that stuff as well, but that doesn't equate to we're a God-loving family. We serve God. And
it's contradictory. Yeah.
I mean, like, I think my thing literally just says owner of Agape wedding videography. Not dog mom of 3.
Yeah.
Human mom of 1.
That's so funny.
Pastor's wife. I think even if it did say that, my posts are pretty boring.
They're Luna.
Yeah.
They're not boring.
They're not
Very
boring.
cute.
Very nice. Yeah, I like Luna. She's cool.
I'm into
She's asleep right now.
I went to touch, she's alright, yeah. She's okay.
Sometimes she leaves me a funny eye.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think social media is such a difficult. It's such a difficult.
It's such a It is such a
difficult,
controversial.
Yeah, and avenue to
navigate.
Yeah.
That's the word. Navigate. How?
Because there's
how
so-
much is too much? How much
There's
is too
so
little?
many.
How much is-
So-
She was sleeping.
Yeah, she was. Maybe she's got a. Let me just quickly go check. Maybe it's
Maybe
the
her
dummy.
dummy is worn out, yeah. Maybe she wants to be on social media. Maybe she just realized she's on social media now.
Without her consent.
Well, she's not even on. Does she have consent?
You know, there's like this huge thing about these people who want to like ask their babies consent to change their nappies. Yeah, it's a very wild story.
I actually have heard of that.
Yeah, didn't Hendrik tell us about it?
I might have been.
Pretty sure, yeah. What were you saying? Oh, there's so much negative and positive stuff that comes out of it that it's really hard to navigate. Is it worth all the things that we, is it worth the distraction? Is it worth... I mean, I don't look at Christian stuff on Instagram, generally.
Yeah, bro. Fast asleep.
What?
Fast asleep.
Do you look at Christian stuff on Instagram or Facebook? Generally?
I don't go into pages. I have pages I follow and stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
I've got there are stuff definitely that I follow, and if I do see it on my feed, I'll look at it. But I don't go on there specifically to look at Christian things. I use more Google to Google Christian things. I think she's waking up now. You wanna go get her?
Yeah, that sounded like you were asking me to go get
There
it.
you go.
You know what I do?
What's the
I just think about...
fire, and it was like it's a nuclear bomb. Beats everything.
I just think about what he's gonna do, and then I do that. If that makes sense. I'm like, Hendrik would probably do rock now, so I'll do rock. And then I just beat him. And I think he thinks I'm just going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Yeah, it's got such a benefit, and there really is a benefit. And if it's done properly and controlled, and same thing, if you're on the right pages and you're on them, there is an algorithm. And I know that, like with Instagram, I find often I don't know how to. There's no way to clear or reset your search, not your search, but that search page.
I think there is, yeah.
Because there's a way to clear your search options, like if you search someone's name. I get that, but like sometimes I'm like, how did you get this content to me? Like, how's the algorithm saying I want to see this? I don't want to see that. I did find a new, for any parents watching out there, I found there's a new like a safety mechanism on Instagram. You can go and make, it's on like a normal one normally. So general there's 3 options and there's a normal one. There was always only one, now there's 3. So it's generally in the middle one, which is like pretty secure, whatever you won't see adult content kind of thing like that. There's another one which is below that, which is even more secure, which is I put all of mine on, the ones that I manage and my one on. Boom. And then there's obviously one that's based on that you'll probably only be given that kind of adult content or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as I say, I get annoyed with that sometimes, the algorithm. I'm like, I don't really want to see this. I don't really want to see golf. I mean, it's not bad stuff. It's golf or it's cars. I only want
you Google something once and then
Audis,
they show you that.
And I'm like, I don't want to only see Audis. I like Audis, I really do. But I also like hunting or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that kind of stuff you got to watch. What you're going on, what you're looking at, and I don't know. There's obviously a time limit that you're looking at it for. Whatever.
I think we're basically talking about boundaries, and we touched on it. No, maybe we can for the second half of the thing talk about like boundaries. What do you guys think? Like the boundaries should be. Like I think first one is time.
Time is probably the most important one.
And like how much do you think is too much? Like in your opinion?
Because you see that's the thing. Like I don't have. Like I mean I think of like you guys with a family or. I go home, I don't have that. I feed my dog and she goes to bed. Especially now, if it's after 5 o'clock kind of thing, she goes to bed. Like 7 o'clock, she's snoring kind of thing. There's nothing on TV. I'm not going to bed at 7 o'clock. Like, you know.
Now, what do you do?
What do you do? I mean, I know, granted, I have 2 books I'm supposed to be reading. Well, I'm halfway through one and I haven't started. But I'm not a big reader, so
you should be reading books, Fran.
Thank you. I feel judged now. I mean, I feel. For me, I have to be really motivated to read in general. Especially books and stuff. I'm not talking about like the Bible kind of thing. That I'm pretty much motivated all the time. But so then I'm like, well, what's hard to be hard on me? And it isn't.
Well, let me just say
after 3
something.
weeks of doing that only, I've got like a headache because all I'm seeing is I'm looking at a little screen first of all over here, and all I'm seeing is little pictures on this little screen, which I'm going in and going out of. And you know what I mean?
Well, let me just put your mind to ease. We are a family who is busy and we cook food together and we do stuff, and we still put Netflix on and we still watch go through the feed while Netflix is playing.
Look, I have my TV on. My TV's on YouTube or on Netflix or on DSTV or something like that.
Yeah.
In general, because I don't sit in a quiet house. For me,
you need the white noise.
Yeah, I need the white noise. I've always needed from child. We always had radios on. I mean, when we lived on the farm, it was so quiet, and you hear the wild, and you hear my mom would put a radio on. So I still, at 344 million years old, still do that every night. I have the radio on quietly, and people hear them. They're always like, "You must not hear that people are breaking in." I'm like, let me tell you something. If they fiddle with the car, I hear it. If they fiddle with the door, I hear it.
And if you don't hear it, your dog will hear it.
I'm a heavy sleeper, so maybe not, but. It's not because of the radio.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I can't. I know now, like 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later, I go, I realise, I said to Hendrik in the car, the other thing that happens with me as well is I start to think along those lines of what's been posted to me. So I'm like, it's a lot of AC Cobras, the car, and I'm like, it's only 120,000 rand. I could sell my car and keep one of those. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do when it's raining or in winter because there's no hot job for that thing. I don't know what I'm doing, who's paying the petrol on a 4K liter car and fixing any damage. But and obviously, realistically, that's not what I would do. But you start to think, okay, because you're constantly
you're bombarded with this information.
Bombarded with that kind of thing. Sports cars, okay, so now I need all this. Or old cars. Now that's the other thing. Old BMWs, old Mercs. guys, wonderful. I think they are fantastic. Old Mustangs. I think, you don't want to drive that.
Yeah,
I drive a vintage car. You don't.
You don't want to drive that.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It
as
looks so cute and it looks so nice
You know.
until you do it.
Yeah, no.
I mean, you almost die like 6 times.
Okay, but this
My clutch failed, my brake failed. One time it was both at the same time. I didn't
Yeah,
have a
well,
handbrake for a week.
Yeah. No, that's nothing. No handbrake for a week, whatever. Park on a flat level. Put it in gear. It doesn't go backwards, you know. I mean, a lot of years
Make a
ago,
plan.
when we ordered my dad's starter motor for the Suzuki, the one years ago, it took like a week to come in from Germany. Well, we just parked on the hill and pushed on it every day.
Nice.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, exactly that. You know?
Well,
I think, and then you get dissatisfied because I'm like, I want to drive that nice, but that's not. And I get annoyed with YouTube channels and YouTube videos and TV programs. This is a side note on that, but it's on that.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with them because these guys in these programs, and I love watching them. Okay, but I get annoyed. They make these beautiful old cars, and they own all these old cars.
Yeah.
What do they drive? You watch the program. What do they actually drive every day?
Yeah, they drive
A
a
modern
new car.
car.
Yeah, a modern car. Yeah.
Because it's
With
not
a service
comfortable with the service plan with it, because those other ones are not. They're not reliable. They're uncomfortable. Obviously, their technology is so much old. Now,
So-
the point of that, sorry, to you,
Yeah.
is to get
We digress.
you get down that rabbit hole on your Instagram with that kind of stuff, and you start thinking like that.
Mm.
So you start getting dissatisfied, possibly, with your. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what happens. Your face looks okay. You get dissatisfied with what you've got and the life you lead.
Yeah.
Because you think I must have this and this and this.
So, but okay, so time
And content.
and content.
Content.
But about the time thing, I feel like you said, no. Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, what is the other option? Like, what other option? Because like I feel we've been so conditioned to think, well, like social media is the only real entertainment out there.
Mm.
Like, what else are you gonna do? But if you have to live, let's say like you live your life as a farmer,
Yeah.
whatever, and you don't have social media on your farm or your houses, whatever. You have
Your
limited.
Sounds like Facebook lives on.
Yeah. So you I say, okay. And so but then your whole view of everything changes. Like maybe you like drawing, or maybe you like writing, or maybe you like
Yeah.
carving something like out of wood, or maybe you like fishing or something, and you focusing on something like that. And I think that it's almost like by default, our first thing goes, well, if I don't look at social media, there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, what happened before? Because social media is only like 11 years old.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I remember.
Like, what did we do before that?
We spent time with friends, but then
Always.
a pandemic happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
but-
only that. I think that too, but then there's, I mean, my friends are all married with kids or whatever. I'm not so like, I can't go there every night kind of thing. I can't.
Yeah.
Even that, in December, I was like, I'm going to go to the beach, I'm going to do that
Oh,
walk at 5 o'clock. It hasn't happened since we've been back at work. I'm going to go at 4 or 5 o'clock at night. I'm kind of going to eat it up at 6, 7. I'm like, well, it's an hour and a half social media kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I could go to the beach.
That's also
Yeah.
to just numb your brain a bit from
Yeah,
the day.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
to de-stress, which is
Exactly.
funny.
But I feel
It causes more stress.
Yeah.
it's counterproductive. It
Yeah.
actually it does something to your brain that you think that it's like, oh, finally I can just relax a little bit, but it's draining your brain so much,
Yeah.
or it's overloading your brain so much that
Yeah.
it's almost like, okay, cool, I was overloaded today, so let's super overload it now,
Yeah.
so that we can be numb or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's it's such a weird thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to just, even as we like talking here, maybe I'm like, maybe I should change my mind completely. Like social media. Like remember, okay, so earlier today we were talking about there's 3 things or 2 or maybe 3 things in my life that I want to focus on. Those are like the most important, because I feel I spread myself too thin, and then like there's too much stuff and I can never get to everything, and I feel like I'm never good at anything, or like I'm not focusing enough time to make it worthwhile. So the 3 things for me is like family, like work, and what was the
A
other?
prayer thing.
Oh yes, yeah, and pray.
Prayer
Like ministry and doing what God wants me to do and stuff like that. So those are the 3 things that I want. I feel almost like I want to have a subcategory of like fun things to do, and I don't even want social media to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
Like I want like social media, I want to use it for my business. That's the ideal. I mean, we always talk about, social media for business, it's such a great thing. And then you sit 99% of the time, you sit on there for your own pleasure and
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like scrolling and you hardly use it for business anyway. But I have it for business, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know if you guys can think of any fun things to do other than social media, but I'll definitely
There's
next
lots of
next
stuff- there's lots of stuff
episode.
to do. I think the thing is that I think that's the difference.
I think quite as rewarding.
And I also
I think
say
quite
that
as stimulating.
the amount of effort you put in versus the amount of reward you get out.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Not
what I was
worth
about
it.
to say. So here I
I
get
can-
home at 4 or 5 o'clock. Okay, I should go to the beach for some more. Okay, I'm going to eat up at 6, 7, so I want to be done by then. So I only have an hour and a half. I'm like, get in the car, drive all the way there.
Yeah.
You
And
do
it's
it
going to
for
be
wind,
nice,
whatever.
but you're going to
Sure.
pay a price.
I'm going to pay a price. I'm going to come back just as hot as I was. I'm not cooling off. I'm not.
There's no point actually, other than the
Yeah.
pretty scenery for the.
You know, that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Whereas if I sit on Facebook and hello, dancing queen.
She's not even 4 months old. She's standing. Anyway. Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I'm getting way more out of sitting in the chair and scrolling through this. I see these cool cars and there's hunting things and there's, you know, all the whatever.
It's very low effort for very high reward.
Yes.
Yeah.
It hardly
in the
ever
end-
lets you down.
And that's but here's the thing.
It is-
It's poisoning. It's
Yeah, in the end
it's
it actually is
actually
letting you down.
short term. Yes, it is definitely satisfying or gratifying you. But long term,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's like you're just destroying your brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel at least. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe
There's
I
no
don't know.
reason why they don't give screens time to babies.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's also a reason why they say half an hour before you go to bed, you should put
Turn
down,
it off.
Yeah.
you should stop, don't look at any social media. Because you dream a lot of what you're seeing, you think you're restless, you don't sleep
Yeah.
because you're focusing on that.
The
How do I
blue
get
light.
that?
But what do I
The
like?
light, everything.
So if I can't sleep, what do I do? I go on
Go
my
to
phone
phone.
until
Yeah, I don't do
until
that.
I'm so tired I can't keep my eyes open and then I go sleep.
No, I don't do that. I
I
can't do that.
read. Reading makes me tired.
Yeah, no, I can't. Well, I can't read. I don't read. That's the other reason why I think why I haven't read carrying those books because going back to work, I can't read in the afternoon. I'm tired. I've had a long day at work or whatever.
You just
Evening.
instant
This is
divorce.
now literally. Yeah.
So-
I won't actually sleep, but I'll be exhausted. Hey.
Sure, she's teething, so she's not the
Yeah.
happiest.
So I think that's the thing. There's so much you can do, and we should be doing it. I mean, like I don't know. I mean, it's like even my daughter's like she doesn't want to play necessarily, and if she does, she'll urge you kind of thing because she's a little. But she doesn't want to. She's like this weekend I bathed her and I brushed her, so it's not like I can do that again. So you know what?
We can't
what
bath and
do you
brush
do?
outdoors.
No, no, right. Thanks. One was enough. You know, there are things you can do, but do we choose that? What do we? I think we instinctively choose the easier thing.
Yeah.
Because we're lazy.
Yeah, but we
Being as
also-
people.
We also idealize the things that
Yeah.
are like, oh, I'm gonna go to the beach and it's gonna be so nice.
Yeah.
Realistically, you go there, it's windy, the sand is whipping your legs to
Too
poo.
cold to swim. You can't.
You go and
Yeah.
swim, it's cold, it's not actually that lucky.
Talk
you
about
get
swim. We
chafed.
need to talk about snorkeling.
Yes, we.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
that's the
yeah.
segment. Then you chafe when you walk back to your car, you have to walk up a flipping 500 kilometer sand,
Yeah.
like it's just not nice actually.
Yeah.
But then for an hour and a half, then you come back exhausted. Now you're. Whereas sitting down and scrolling through pictures of the beach, you
Yeah.
know, whatever.
Oh, it's so nice.
so
I
nice.
love living
I really
at
want to be
beach.
there. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we could do so much nice stuff. We could do our garden finally,
Yeah.
actually finish it and
Yeah.
fix it.
Work in the garden. I would, but it's so much mission and I'm not list for it right now. But then the second you start, the second you get into it, it's so liberating. It's so nice and it's fun,
Yeah.
and you've got this like, excitement about the house that you live in because you're making it pretty and
We take so much stuff for granted because of social media as well.
100%.
Yeah. Well, time. I think time, and when we talk about time, isn't how much. I think time disappears. You get in at 10 o'clock at night, and like I'm pretty sure I sat down at like 8 o'clock while I was waiting for the thing to load, or
Yeah.
whatever during the ad break, and I was on. Yeah, now it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted. I wanted to go to bed early tonight. or whatever. You know. I know 10 o'clock's early for some people, but you know what I
We
mean.
start work at 10.
Yeah. Also, I think
know people do that.
because like even just as we're talking now, I'm like, yes, we should do like a 21-day challenge with no social media or anything like that. But then I'm like, the focus is still social media. Like even if you try and not watch it, like I don't feel that that's the answer.
Yeah.
I feel the answer is more like find like other things. You watch as much social media as what you want, but do other things as well. Like go to the beach,
Yeah.
work in the garden, go for a hike, do those things,
Yeah.
and be on social media as
Friend
much
that
as
I
you
walk
want.
with actually
But
basically
do
said,
those
like,
things.
When are we going to walk again? And I'm like, I wasn't sure what our plan was. I'm like, maybe tonight. Otherwise, maybe tomorrow night. And I haven't because it's exactly to come home and I'm like, I sit down and then my phone and I'm like, I'm walking now, so I message you and kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's exactly that. Do that.
Maybe we should
Welcome
do like
to sit on the phone later,
Yeah.
but do that.
yeah. Maybe we should do like a 21-day challenge of doing fun things without my phone.
Okay, I'm keen.
That's fine.
Starting tomorrow.
So you need to. So because obviously you can still use your phone. We can use as much social media as what we want.
Let's
Um,
do fun stuff.
But we have to
Outside.
do one fun thing. That is, it's not like a 5-minute thing. Like I'm talking about going to the beach. It must be like at least like an hour long.
Yeah, something
or
that, yeah.
something something substantial. Or even going for a walk. Even if it takes 15 minutes, you go for a walk and quickly around the block and whatever. Like
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
what I do, yeah.
And
Often
then I think people can follow us on social media to see, like, because I mean, like
So
what,
we can have an account, but you guys do have an account.
Yeah.
I just kind of forgot about it.
yeah. So we can all maybe
That's what
post.
we're doing today, yeah.
We can share it. Brandon's in control of that, so we'll send you our stuff and what
Yeah.
we've done, and then you can just put it on there. So for the next 21 days.
I think we should also do a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It
is
is,
a
and
lot
I
of
think
information.
social media is such a big thing. Well, what I mean, like in that, what is social media? Like I don't necessarily consider YouTube social media because I don't sit and watch YouTube on my phone.
Yes.
It's on my TV, and I've gotten a lot better at that. I don't disappear into YouTube. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, there's nothing to watch. Get on with it.
Well, it's like I said to him the other day, it's social media. It's where you socialize over media.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's crazy.
Instead of socializing with people, I mean, they're
Well, you are socializing with people just over a different media.
yeah, but you're not
But
necessarily.
Not on
I mean,
YouTube.
yeah, that's it.
Well, if you comment on their videos, I mean,
Yeah, I suppose so. It's like Instagram as well. I mean, I'm liking stuff I like, a couple things I like, and I'm terrible at that. I will like when you guys post stuff I like. I'm good at doing that, but I'm also like, oh well, there's just people that I won't like their stuff. You know,
Yeah.
It's just generally I don't generally sit and like.
Well, here's also the thing that people that people don't think about. You like something when you like it. So, like, if you're just scrolling and you see, oh, okay, that's cool, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool, whatever, then there's no reason to like it.
Yeah.
But if you go, hey, look at that, like,
Yeah.
but then I was also going to say, then the standard becomes so high. Like, that's the
What
other
do you-
problem.
it does because well, it
That's
depends
the-
on what your feed.
But I think that's the thing. I think if your standard is high, your content is high, as in it's good quality stuff, or whether it's quality as in production side of things, or quality as in it's good for you, or it's just in general good or whatever, you would maybe spend less time on there, or maybe I don't know.
I
if
find
you
that
will.
I just lose perspective. I'm like, I don't know what a good photo looks like anymore.
No, well, for sure.
Because I'm like, well,
You can edit anything, and you can have anybody take a good photo of.
and we
pretty much
all take the same stuff.
anything. Exactly.
So it's like, okay, well, you think, oh, this person is the best, and then you see their photos for
Yeah.
a couple of weeks, and then you're like, but I could take that.
It's actually a thought that I had when I'm taking like photos of my food. I don't remember I said to you I want to go on those boards, and
Yes,
I
yeah.
actually didn't do that because I was like, no, I don't want it to be a production thing.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to sit down and eat this meal. Here's the photo. It's what I'm eating.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Messy as it is or whatever it might be, you know?
But it's actually crazy because, yeah, I've noticed it lately with videography and photos and stuff. You don't really know if you're good anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even if you maybe didn't think you were good before or whatever, you just kind of go like, well, who is good? Who's bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that also depends on flavour and I mean, we've said this before about graphic design and stuff. Everybody has their style.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's everything. On a different topic, but on the same sort of principle. I mean, students keep asking me about what I wear. They keep saying this is a tablecloth shirt, and I was like, literally is like, you wear the same clothes every day. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And he didn't mean that I wear the exact same shirt. He meant it's the same style. Well, that's my style. Well, that's what I
It's
choose.
jeans and a t-shirt.
As I go to work, I need a collared shirt for work. I don't do a t-shirt for work. And I don't mind jeans, but I wear shoes. So even though it's the middle of summer and I'm sweating and I'm wearing shoes, kind of think that's my style. And it's the same thing with photographers. They have a style. Musicians have a style. Whatever, that's generally their style.
Yeah, no,
So
true.
what? Let's say, as an example, let's say I maybe don't like your style of photos and whatever, or videos or whatever. Well, that's you're good for someone else, not good for me. You know.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
It's alright. No, I'm just saying it, like, when you see so much content the whole time, you actually
That's-
really lose perspective.
That's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because you don't know. There's so much out there to offer. There's so much.
Yeah.
I do like YouTube videos and then even TV series and stuff like this, Instagram, where I get to like see the world. Because I know for a fact, and I know people get very upset when I say this, that I'm not going to travel the world. It's not a desire. I want to see the places, but I have no desire to fly on an airplane for hours on end and deal with all that issue, leave my house, leave all my stuff. you know, to go and see New York.
Brad and I
or-
are the same person.
Yeah.
Hey?
You're not the same
Yeah.
person.
I have no desire for that, but I love sitting through actually Cowboys and seeing them, you know, this or the Western America or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Or I love Hawaii. Like I said to Mom the other day, I think if I was to go somewhere other than South Africa, I'd go to Hawaii. Don't know why, but I would. That kind of thing, you know?
I don't know why you go to Hawaii.
Very good. Not just the Huawei phones. I know that's different.
See, mom jokes also a thing now.
Yeah, clearly. So, and I think that's that content thing that you permanently bombard with. Like, it's always there. There's always something else you could see. So
Yeah.
that's why you scroll on, because the next video could be better. The next video could be just a little bit better. And it's something like hilarious, you know?
Yeah.
Send to my brother all the time. You guys send to each other and whatever. Lists of reels, but it's not necessarily worth anything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I mean, this
I've
one
been
is really
entertainment.
good, and that one is, yeah. It's not often that you see bad reel. I don't think I see bad, like,
Sometimes I see the most random reels.
Ah,
Like
random
just
stuff.
some person like looking at the bottom of their phone, and that's the whole reel. And I'm like, how did this even end up in the algorithm?
Talents.
But anyway, I think we should.
Yeah, we
yeah,
should wrap
we
it
need to
up.
wrap up. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2, and we'll also. When are we starting the 21-day challenge? When this
Tomorrow.
goes live?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, so by the time you guys watch this,
This will be a couple of
we
days.
will have started like 4 days ahead of it, whatever. But you can follow us on social media, and yeah, it'll be cool. Okay. Cool, guys. Cheers.
Bye.